What is up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in, dude. We got that music rocking, bro. We got that music rocking. That's that generic StreamYard music. But what is up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. This is the Matt Rabbit Show. We have a fantastic guest today. We're gonna have some fun today. But before we get into that, let's give a big shout to the sponsor of the show, the Matt Rabbit Show, presented by the greatest gas station in the world. It is Quick Trip. Summer cash grab. All right, they got a summer cash grab coming up. I see it. And summer cash grab, all right. Pull tabs for a chance to win prizes like coupons, bonus points, and entries towards the $250,000 cash grand prize. That's a lot of money, bro. All right, and $25,000 cash weekly prize. Quick Trip is giving away $25,000 every week. If you pay attention to their social media, they're posting every week. So be sure to check the Quick Rewards app. All right, and then you can win some money. You know what I mean? Plus, they got a lot of cool stuff on there. They're giving away a lot of stuff. So shout out to Quick Trip. You know what I mean? First of all, sponsoring this show, you gotta question their who's in charge over there. You know what I mean? No, but shout out to Quick Trip. We are joined today by Ed the Diver. All right. I was talking to someone at work, right? I was talking to someone at work, and I said, I got Ed the Diver on the podcast. It's not going to be a Packers podcast, I told them. They said, what's he do? I'm like, I said, his name's Ed the Diver. Like, what's he do? That's how you know the type of people I work with, Ed. All right, so for everyone tuning in, either on the podcast or live with me, I appreciate you. But this is not going to be a Packers podcast. You know, usually we're talking about the Packers, but Ed the Diver is a Wisconsin content creator. He's cleaning up the earth one river at a time. You know what I mean? But it's good. I mean, I wouldn't say good to meet you because I met you before, but good to see you, Ed. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. And first of all, gosh, I love the Packers. Hey, no, I've been to a couple of games. I do tailgate and stuff. I haven't had TV channel, so I don't really watch anything on TV. So unless it's at
how many games have you been to?
I say like 5 games throughout my life inside, but otherwise I've been tailgating many times, and I wouldn't want to be inside the game after I'm done tailgating anyway. I'd be passed out.
Yeah. I have definitely been there. All right, so I want to talk about what you do. So you're out there diving, all right? You're out there in the rivers cleaning stuff up. How did this all start? Like, how did this whole journey begin?
Well, I love the water, love to swim, but it actually started after trying to teach my kids how to fish. You know, Menominee River between Marinette, Wisconsin, Menominee, Michigan, where we did that collaboration with you, Charlie Barnes, Ryan Rubel, Christy, Silent J.
Yeah.
So that's where it all started. Trying to get my lures back. At first I started out with some bibs and like a golf ball retriever. I was grabbing lures and line, pulling them in, and then once the water warmed up, I got some shorts, tennis shoes, a mask. Was underwater, holding my breath, getting lures, throwing them on a boogie board. Which then I started noticing all the trash underwater besides all the lures and line. So I started noticing all the, like plastic, the glass, the aluminum cans, the car batteries, the bicycles, the rims, tires. So I started upgrading my stuff to hold all that stuff so I could get out of the waterways, and it just blew up from there.
Yeah, so you just started recording this stuff, posting it, and because I live close to, I don't like to say like where I live. My podcast because not everyone likes me, Ed. Not everyone likes me, but
oh boy,
like you're up in that Marinette area, you're doing your thing. I've lived close by Lena. I work over there somewhere. I don't want to say exactly where. Not even that, but I'm not sure my work wants me to share that information. They're just like, no, don't leave us out of it. But I know a lot of people like that knew you that went to high school with you. Everyone says that like you're really nice. Do your friends call you Eddie or Ed?
Most of them call me Eddie, so that's how I know on my channels. Whenever someone calls me Eddie, I know that they've known me longer. This whole Ed the Diver came up probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Well, my brother calls me Ed. My sister calls me Special Ed or Eduardo. So
Edward Scissorhands.
I've been called Edward Scissorhands.
My brother's name is Ed. Actually, it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Ed, my brother. You
Happy
know what I
birthday.
mean? Well, shout
Yeah.
out. But so how did you like? I know that this might be a stupid question, but like, how did Ed the Diver, like the name, like you just like spur of the moment, like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do because you
Yeah.
didn't know what it's gonna be.
Well, I was like my thing to my brother. My brother called me Ed a lot. I was working with him for like 9 years doing underground electric, like underground utility. I was an operator, terminating transformers, meters, pedestals. And he always called me Ed. Everybody else called me Eddie. But anyway, I'm like just thinking Ed, and then yeah, I scuba dive, so Ed the Diver, and I just picked it, and it just went. I went with it, and it's taken off. And when you start doing this for a while, you get a lot of fake accounts. So people are stealing my picture, making fake accounts, and then everybody's
Yeah,
like, whatever.
yeah, they're over there trying to like, I need help. I, I get that too. Like people like make a fake page and they're like, hey, this is my private account. Send me money.
Yeah, yep,
It's over
exactly.
here,
Pretty
panhandle.
fishy.
All right, so Christy chiming in over here. She said, "I call him Ed the Diva, Eye of the Tiger."
Ed the Diver,
Oh,
Eye of the Tiger.
I
What's
like
up,
that. That
Christy?
that should be a shirt. So like, yeah. So let's talk about Christy over here. Let's give her a shout out of it. Um, so she helps you with obviously with a lot. I was there with
Mhm.
you with Charlie, Ryan, the whole crew is there over at Marinette, and
Yep.
me and Christy picked up some garbage. There really wasn't any garbage to pick up. They keep a pretty clean park, and it started
I,
to rain, and there
I
was
keep a clean park. I clean that up a lot.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
like a really clean, and it started to rain, so we just kind of hung out under a bridge and just hung out for a little bit while you guys did the real work.
Bunch of
And
trolls.
but like, how did I know you're getting your whole thing with Christy, but like what does she do? Like, I don't get what I mean by that is I don't want to get in your whole relationship, So
No,
this
whatever.
isn't ET, but like, yeah, you guys are a great team. She's over there with you. I see
Yeah.
all your content that you're posting. She's always there. She's cleaning. She's doing some stuff. But does she dive?
She's right now. She's getting certified to dive. She's been through a couple
Yeah.
training classes in a pool. She's done the online class work, and she's just working on getting trained right now and doing an awesome job. And it's just she travels with me. Like next week is my last week of the tour. We're heading to Madison, Wisconsin, and it's all my tours of the weeks have been like 5 day trips. This is a 6 day trip because we have to stay an extra day because a local community cleanup group scheduled around my schedule to keep me there another day, for us to come clean up with them. So it's just so cool, like the way it's all been working out. The networking, the marketing, the advertising, and stuff. And Christy's really, not only is she a wonderful, beautiful, talented, motivated woman, she's also like helping me get more contacts, get more support, more like news attention, newspapers, and so she's fabulous. I couldn't ask for a better woman, and if I wouldn't say that, she'd probably beat me. But I'm
I
so
know.
thankful for her.
Yeah, that's all scripted. So Press
I love you,
Gazette just
hon.
did a Press Gazette just did a story on you, right?
Yeah, they just did it came out on their website or their Facebook thing. I think the actual print comes out tomorrow or something like that in the actual newspaper. But yeah, it's like I shared their online story on my page, and it got like over 500 likes, I think, like 30, a lot of comments, and like 30 shares, and like it blew their original post on their website away. I think they just got more
Yeah.
shares, but like 136 likes, and so that's pretty cool. But I'm
Yeah,
thankful
you've
for the
been
story. Go ahead.
I'll say like you've been interviewed by the news. This is low level for you. Like you,
You
it's like I don't know. I got the time for this show.
well, with the whole Barbie selling the Barbie and Christie winning it, that story made national news. I had two news stations at my house. One, it was going through the auction, and people were bidding back and forth, like they were checking out my house and my like museum kind of thing. Then they were like asking me about who the top bidders were and this and that. Christy ended up winning it. It was her 40th birthday. It was a Thursday, I believe it was a Thursday. Yeah, it was. And we ended up delivering it down to her for her birthday, and bought some more Barbie stuff and a card. Me and Silent J went down there. Went to a couple different places. Ended up at the Heights. She invited us to stay the night, and then after that, It was sealed deal. So no, she's very awesome, and just we've been together since. Went to Florida. We're going to Alaska coming up next month, and just unlimited possibilities, and
Over
she's
here living the
fantastic.
dream, bud. So like it was that one year because like I didn't know you like I don't know how long like when I noticed you or whatever on social media, but like was that Barbie like one of the ones that kind of got you going, or was there one before that?
I didn't eBay anything before that, but I sell for the last 5 years. I've been selling lures every spring. I'd go down by the local rivers. I started out with just a couple tables, put all my lures out there in tackle trays. People would pick them out, $4 or $5 each, take off, go fish, and then ended up getting a toy hauler trailer. Then ended up getting a website, and it was shipping all over the United States. Ended up donating a lot more to benefits, charities, stuff like that, so that people could, you know, use my tackle trays to sign it, put a bunch of lures, and more people bid on it because many people like to fish up here. So
Yeah,
it
they
just
do.
that's something that we've been doing. I think we give away about half of the lures we find, and we probably found like 16,000 like just a couple years ago. This year less and less because I'm focusing more on environmental stuff, cleaning up different places, more trash and less lures kind of
Yeah.
thing.
So what's the weirdest thing you ever found? Because I follow you, I get all types of divers, and some divers find some sketchy stuff.
Yeah.
So what's the craziest thing that you ever found?
I don't know. I found guns, handcuffs. I found when you're cleaning up the waters and you find used condoms and like dirty stuff, diapers, tampons. But I guess
That's
one of my
Marinette. That's Marinette, Wisconsin, baby.
I've been finding a lot of like drug needles and stuff down in over
Oh, that's not
Minneapolis
good.
here. But today was like the one of the most coolest finds. I'll tell you this. This is the first
Yeah.
time I found a
What you
Yoda,
got?
and
What
this
you
thing
got?
actually, I think it moves and talks and does stuff because it's got a speaker right here. The eyes move, the mouth moves, the ears move, but the screw on the bottom is rusted. It's got an on and off switch here, so I'm gonna try to get this working again somehow and see what it does. Pretty
Dude,
cool,
that's awesome. But
and
like that,
it
it doesn't
stinks
look
so
that
bad.
damaged. I bet it does. It just pull it
No, I
out.
mean just look at that face on there. That's creepy. Imagine waking up to that in the morning.
I don't want to, dude. Now I'm gonna have to, and you're probably gonna not gonna. But like that doesn't look that damaged. Like it couldn't have been in
No.
there too long. So like you just find like random stuff because I see a lot of cell phones. Like you just find like anything people just drop fishing or on a boat, whatever.
Mm-hmm. There's a
It's
lot of stuff that I find a lot of hats, shirts, underwear, socks. Socks, I find so many socks everywhere. And I can understand about like major fishing spots where you're fishing and there's no bathroom around, you gotta go. You don't have toilet paper, so you're gonna whip off your shoes, you're gonna use a sock or two to wipe. I find a lot of those.
so dude, so that's like some detective work you got going on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like you're like talking to schools too, right? You
Yep.
you were asked to be a speaker. See, that doesn't happen for me.
No?
No one's ever asked me to talk to children.
Okay.
Actually, I've been
Or
the neighbors are like, "Hey, stop talking to our kids." No, they're not.
No,
So,
I mean,
how did
no,
that
that's
start? Like, what are you doing over there?
so that's one of the things I do is I do meet and greets. I speak for like different kid groups, field trips. I've been to historical societies. I've been spoke with them. I've been down to Green Bay to speak with like $1 million companies, a group that you can't be part of the group unless you make over $1 million. And I'm not. I have never even been in that position yet. But they wanted to hear like how I'm doing in social media, how I'm doing my business, and the things I'm finding. So that was cool. They invited me to do that. And then I got a fair coming up on Sunday. I'll be doing a dive, doing a meet and greet, and then I talk about environmental, protection. But yeah, it just keeps going and going. And I've had to learn how to say no. My time is valuable, and I don't have much time. And everybody's pulling me like different directions. Can you come
Yeah.
here? Can you do this? So of course, then you got to start making money on it because everybody, wants you.
Well,
But I try to do local stuff for free. But when you got to start traveling more, you got to make some money.
oh yeah, I definitely get it. I think it's cool because like my content doesn't do anything for anybody. Like some people might laugh or whatever, they kind of enjoy it a little bit, but like you're doing good stuff like for the world, right? I think it's cool when people do like I have a friend Eric Outdoors. He
Hmm.
does content where he goes and he just cuts grass, like abandoned lots. A lot of people do this, and
That's
people
cool.
who can't have it. And I think that there's certain content that is like just good for the world. Like they're just doing good stuff, and they just
Yep.
happen to be recording it. And then people like me who just drink beer and talk about the Packers on the internet. But
Well, you're making it. You're making it, man. You're growing.
hey,
Love
I'm trying to stay on your level. You know what I mean?
it.
Just trying to
Just be
keep up with
yourself.
Mr. No, but like
That's
let's talk about the when Charlie Barons was there, because that was the first time I met him in person. We've chatted or whatever. He was on my halftime show I had one time for a little
cool.
bit. And actually he will be coming on my podcast probably before the start of the season. And also Ryan Rubel, let's give a shout out. Ryan Rubel at some point will be on the live stream. We're going to do a podcast. And next week, for Packer fans who are listening, watching, Peter Bukowski next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Peter Bukowski. We're going to talk some Packers. They're going to training camp. It's going to be a good time. But
Awesome.
forgot where I was going with that. I just lingered off. I trailed off. No, but let's talk about Nicolay Law. All right. Nicolay Law sponsors this show. You know, Nicolay Law is a sponsor of the Matt Ramage thing, and also anybody who's making content in Wisconsin. And Ed the Diver is no different. But talk about that. So like, how did that come? Because like you talk about making money on this because there's money to be made, and like you don't want to be like all like crazy with it, but like you you know, you you do make a little bit of money on that. But like, how did was that your first sponsor?
Yeah, Nicolay Law is my first big sponsor, but I've had I started doing advertising on my truck also from different like local businesses or some other ones. I gave people opportunity. So I did year contracts, filled my truck full of like all these different decals that I made for with my Cricket, and it helped me pay bills, helped me keep going. You know, go do free cleanups, pay for fuel, hotels, and so now, I mean, as I'm growing more, and my truck is filled up. Now I can up my prices for the next year. If the old clients want to stay on, they can. If not, then I'll move on to the new clients that want to come in.
You got to go.
Yeah, but Nicolay Law, Russell is awesome. I'm meeting with him tomorrow at Country Jam, and me and Ryan, we got tickets to go hang out there. We're gonna hang out with Russell, hang out with the bands, and just have a good time, make some content, take some funny pictures, maybe even have a dance off if enough alcohol is involved. I don't know. So,
but you just tell Russell, thanks for the invite. Tell him Matt said thanks for the invite. I got to work anyways, but like, I would have liked to be able to say no. You know what I mean? No, but Russell is the man. Yeah, he's out there representing Wisconsin. Like, dude, he's got that Wisconsin tatted up on him. That's what I said. Like, if you need a lawyer, you want a lawyer that's got the Wisconsin state tatted on his forearm. Like, you can't go any other way. I told him, I know you're not a criminal lawyer, but I think about breaking the law sometime just so you can be my lawyer. I'm too good of a driver to need a lawyer for an accident. You know what I mean?
Some road rage involved. Like that guy's a Bears fan.
All right, we got a good question over here in the live chat. I want to ask you: have you ever been called in to help search for like a lost treasure or anything, or if anyone has called you to help with a missing people? Okay, that got dark. Involves bodies of water. But yeah, have you ever been called to like help search for like a serious situation?
Yeah, Iowa Joe. I've only been like part of my business, the Beavers Underwater Recovery. That's LLC. People call me to go recover items like boat motors, cell phones, Apple watches, keys. Smaller stuff. Their four-wheeler went through the ice and the ice is still open. I'll go and find the rest of their stuff. But I don't have equipment to haul big stuff, but I can get out little stuff. I think the biggest thing was a boat motor. Like
dude, that's a bad day for that individual.
Yeah,
but you lose a boat motor. You had a hand on that thing too. You're like, I was like, whoop, what?
Gone. Whoops.
But we gotta call Ed.
I haven't done any body searches yet. I don't know if I really want to do that. I do have a degree in law enforcement. I have done search and rescue training back, years back. But it's like, it's not something I'd really want to make a video out of. You know,
Oh yeah, that's not content worthy.
no,
I mean
and
not worthy, but like yeah, that's
like
yeah. I mean,
what
people
is the
got to
word?
do it. Someone's got to do it. I wouldn't want to be that someone though.
Well, Adventures with Purpose, they do that. That's part of their thing is they find missing
Actually,
people and
yeah.
stuff.
I think someone commented on that when I was talking about you coming on here, and people there's someone who helps after like the search teams are done.
Mm-hmm.
They go in and they help out. Anyway, this got dark. This got dark. This has ruined the vibe, man. But
Let's bring it back up.
so what's next for Ed the Diver? What do you got? Because like I feel like you're just getting warmed up. I feel like things are starting to pop in the last year, maybe more. But like, what's going on? What's the future hold?
I had a TV show in the talks last year.
That'd be awesome.
Producer, what do you call it? What do you, the guy who makes movies, shows.
Denzel Washington.
No. Producer. I was thinking producer. A producer called me last year. He just had a TV show go out recently, and he asked me if I'd want to, have my own show and do a full season, this and that. I was all excited, so we were talking back and forth. And I even mentioned to my followers on Facebook that hey, I'm in the talks of doing my own TV show. But then he talked to higher ups, and then they started thinking, oh well, these diving shows don't really go far, this and that. But I'm thinking like they've never done one in the Midwest where you're diving in low water, fishing lures, all the stuff that people lose up here in the Midwest, and like all the stuff that needs to be cleaned up. And so then they wanted to do like split the show up between me up here and then a guy down south finding like megalodon teeth, or prehistoric bones and stuff. And I'm like, well, come on. And then now you're going to split, the income that I would make with somebody else. And I was like, and then it just kind of dwindled after that. And I just gave up on it.
I feel like TV show people don't know like what good TV is. Like they're in that job because like you just watch like what's going on regular TV. But actually, I was going to be on a TV show once.
Oh,
I
yeah?
actually went to Madison, did a thing for like, it was a history of cheese. Right?
History of cheese,
so, like,
yeah.
Yeah, like on the History Channel, because they have like the history of like whatever. They have history of everything on that channel. So I went to this place in Madison, and it was like an old building by the Capitol. And I had to bring a cheese head. So I'm walking on the street with a cheese head. So I just put it on my head. I'm walking down Madison, cheese head on. People are honking, yeah, whatever. I go into this old building. Like, you ever watch like Ancient Aliens or like any of these TV shows? How the backgrounds are like old buildings? Like, that's just what it is. I thought it was just like a green screen type of thing. It's actually just right now old buildings. And then they ask you stuff. And I didn't know, and it was like COVID time. So like I go in there, they're like sanitizing my face, spraying me down, whatever. It was like peak times. And then I just sit in this chair and they're like asking me about cheese. And like they're like, I remember one question they said, what's one thing you for sure got to put on cheese or put cheese on? And I said, it's not what you put cheese on. In Wisconsin, we start with the cheese and then we figure out what we can add to it.
Yep.
But they didn't use it.
Burgers, bacon.
I did the whole thing, and they're like, we went a different direction. I was like, so I sucked. Like, no, you were great. I was like, I don't think I was. I remember one time I stood up and I hit the microphone. They have a mic on top of you, and I hit that, and then the guy in the corner jumped up and like freaked out because like he had headphones on. And I was like, oh, sorry, dude. I'm not. I don't know how this stuff works. So that guy hated me. But yeah, dude, that was cool. But that's just kind of how it happens. They don't use it. But dude. But I do want to talk about. I was talking about this before. When Ryan was there. Ryan's over here in the comments section. Charlie Barons was over there. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about what the Charlie Barons effect. Like Charlie Barons shows up. There's fire trucks showing up. Not like actual fire truck, but fire pickup trucks. Yeah. People are showing up. People just show up and say hi. And I was like, oh, it must be here for me. But it wasn't the case.
Well, okay. So I planned this thing. That was the second time we dived with Charlie Barons. But bringing him to my hometown in Marinette, it was easy contacting him because we talk and stuff. But trying to keep it quiet, like for me, it was really tough. And then the people close to me that knew, like, hey, don't tell anybody the date. Don't let anybody know. But the day of, me and Christy just got back from Florida, like the night before. Ryan met us in Green Bay. We stayed overnight, had some fun, drove up, but like we ended up going to Quick Trip next to my house because I live like 60 feet from Quick Trip, 60 feet from a bar, 100 feet from a
Oh,
post office. But
I'm
anyway,
gonna
it's
come
like
over there.
I met the a guy I knew. He works for the city of Marinette with the social marketing. He's a social marketing person, and I'm like, hey, if you want to get some pictures for the city of Marinette, in about an hour, Charlie Barnes is coming up. You can come get some pictures. He's like, oh yeah, I would love to. I won't get in the way. I won't do this or that. I'll just I'll take some pictures and whatever. So like half hour after I tell him, I'm like, yeah, don't tell anybody. Half hour later, he's like, hey, he's like, can the mayor come? Sure, sure. I mean, yeah, the mayor can come. Yeah, the mayor come say hi, whatever. And then like, so we're out there getting ready. Charlie shows up a little late. That he can do that. And
Yeah.
anyway,
I
so then
mean, I
the guy that,
fashionably late. You know what I mean? Fashionably late.
yep, that's right. He still showed up. So then the guy that said he was just gonna take pictures, whatever. All of a sudden he starts talking to him about getting him into town and trying to make like, hey, what it would take to get you here, this and that. And I'm like, dude, he said
I
he's gonna
remember
take
that. I
pictures.
remember that. I was there for that.
Yeah, yep. And then all of a sudden the mayor shows up. Then the mayor's assistant shows up. Then the police chief shows up. And then you got people that in the parking lot that bringing cheese curds over from the Tasty Traveler. Oh
Yep.
man! Then after we're done diving, the fire chief shows up. It was funny.
Dude, Charlie brings a crowd. Dude, you know what's funny about that? Because like I say, I had Charlie at my halftime show, but that's like really time I only talked to him. We messaged back and forth a little bit. But I remember like coming home and telling my wife, I was like, yeah, that was pretty cool. Or whatever, told her about it. And I was like, I told Charlie a joke. She's like, what joke did you tell him? I was like, this man is a professional comedian. And this is the joke I told him. I told the professional comedian the worst joke ever. Because he's going diving, right? He's going diving.
Mhm.
You guys are walking towards the water. I'm kind of walking with him. And I say, hey, Charlie, want to hear a joke? I didn't think about it. It just kind of spurred a moment. And then he's like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, you know why when divers dive out the back of a boat, they always fall backwards? He's like, no, why? I said, because they fell forward, they'd still be in the boat. I heard
Oh,
that's like the
yeah.
most worst dad joke. I heard that
Yeah.
when I was like probably 8th grade by my stepdad, and it stuck with me. In that moment, I was like, this is the moment for this joke to come out. And afterward,
I
I
hear
was
it a
like,
lot.
oh, he's a professional comedian. And that's the
I hear
joke.
that
And
one
he
a lot.
laughed. I don't think it was a real laugh. He's like, ah, ha, ha. It was one of those laughs, but I feel like
Oh
he was
yeah,
sincere with it. No, but
that's right. Hey,
uh,
you got some kind of reaction. No, he
but
did an awesome job. I actually I forgot to bring a bunch of extra diving gear for him because I was in such a
yeah,
hurry. I was so like in a panic trying to make it right that I forgot an extra BC, an extra tank, an extra octopus. And so like he started out just free diving, holding his breath. Ryan Rubel did it the whole time because he's not certified. But I ended up feeling bad for Charlie, and like I'm like, you drove all this way here, take my stuff, and I was like, you can see in my video that I made. I'm like, his camera is like recording me, and my camera's recording him, and I'm like down at his waist, like hooking the strap and the belt up, and he's like, oh, and I'm like snapping it up and stuff. I'm like that angle, it's just hilarious. It's
so
but
it like the one thing I got from that. So if you're not certified, like Ryan's not certified, so he had to just go down there and hold his breath while everyone else who's certified gets air. It seems like the
yep.
one who's not certified is the one that might drown himself on accident. You know what I mean?
Well, it would be tough for Ryan because he couldn't even. He had so much buoyancy. Like I even put like 20 pounds of lead on his waist with the wetsuit he's wearing, but he still couldn't stay down because of the buoyancy of his suit. So actually, Silent J had to push him down to grab a lure. But I was just like worried about like him grabbing a lure off a log and then coming back up and getting stuck between a log and his glove or his finger.
Yeah.
And then you
And
can
then you
see him
got
like
yeah.
in
But the
the
thing
videos you can
is,
see it.
I was gonna say that the thing is that if Ryan Rubel does drown with you, there's another one of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's got a twin. He's
that's
got a
true.
twin. Probably the better version. If I'm not lying.
Ryan, you're replaceable.
Dude, that's what I was saying. I remember that when you guys are doing that, you guys like were putting like weights on. I remember saying that to Charlie Barons. I was like, this is the opposite of what if I was ever told about water. You do not put weights on and then jump in a river. That's not what you're supposed to do. I remember him thinking like, yeah, you're kind of right about that.
Yep. So
It's a wild thing. I don't know. I'm not sure I'd be. I'm not sure I'd want to dive.
you could do it, man. Definitely could do it.
You got to get certified though.
Mind over
I don't
matter.
like. Yeah. What's the certification like to go diving?
So I think like they're around $350, $400 you pay for this class. They provide you with materials to learn. Some of them have like a book. Some of them have DVDs. Some of them have you go online, and sometimes it takes like a whole week to do the online courses and go through all this stuff.
Wow.
But then you got to do like a pool dive or a river dive or wherever the instructor wants you to go to do a couple shallower dives. And then they try to acquaint you with deeper waters so that you can learn how to equalize your ears as you're going down. And then they want you to kind of just get comfortable with being at that level, just breathing calmly, not freaking out. And then they test all these different things like pulling your regular out of your mouth and just like so you don't have air, but then you just gotta calmly put it back in there, start breathing again. Take your mask off, fill it up with water, or it's completely off, then you gotta put it back on, full of water, then blow the water out with your nose. So they try to train you that shallow, then they go deeper, and then they try teach you different steps in case something happens. How to work with somebody that's like a buddy that's diving with you, how you work together to get back up to top safely.
Yeah, dude, I feel like you have to do more to dive than you do to have a driver's license. And you can people when you're driving, you can kill everyone else. If you screw up diving, that's just you. Just
You're
your
done.
family's having a funeral. But like
Yep.
you screw up driving, that's wild. But I guess it's good. Everyone stays safe. Otherwise, people like me, just like idiots, like I should be a diver now. And then they're like, they go down there and drown. Like, no, let's regulate this because people are stupid. We gotta make sure we don't have people out here floating around with the lures.
No, man, it's so cool though. Like once you get underwater and you're breathing underwater and seeing a whole different world, it's like I always just describe it as flying in slow motion. When you're underwater and you're kicking around and you're just moving after you kick, it's like you're flying in slow motion.
Yeah.
Keep yourself neutrally buoyant, and it's really cool.
So you just see like the fish are just swimming around, they're just doing their thing. They don't like run away from you. So everyone who's talking about can't make noise while you're fishing, they're all lying because you're down there swimming. You're down there swimming with them.
Well, I tell you what, that walleye, I can usually see walleye about 4 or 5 feet away, but as soon as they hear me blow out, like the bubbles, they're gone. I can swim right up to sturgeon, pet them. Bass will follow me around, and they'll look at me, they'll look at a rock, look at me, look at the rock, until you flip it over, and a crayfish will come out and they'll grab the crayfish. It's pretty cool. But walleye are pretty finicky. Trout, I haven't really got too close to a trout, a couple feet away, but bass are your buddies.
So, like, you ever been attacked by a fish?
No, I've become face to face with big muskie. I've swam next to sturgeon that were as big as me, and they're just chilled down there. Just in a snapping turtles. I was face to face with a snapping turtle 2 days ago. Then last summer I came face to face a couple times. That they're down there chillaxing.
They're just chilling. I once got attacked by a snapping turtle, possibly. Last time everyone's flipping in a river when I was like a little kid.
Oh.
Something hit something went after my toe. I know that I was done swimming that day. And I didn't go swimming again for like 6 years.
Maybe it's a stick. There are a lot of sticks underwater.
It could have been. Yeah, but so like you're just swimming down there like and you're just seeing like fish, you're just seeing like it on the bottom of like every river, is it just full of trash? Or like
no.
Most of them are just good.
Some rivers are different. If there's a constant flow, then you're not going to have much stuff settling down there, like a bunch of gunk. But off the sides where the current kind of subsides, and you're gonna have a bunch of like sediment buildup, muck. Like a lot of lakes have like a lot of muck. Some lakes I've been doing recoveries. I can go down to the bottom, and stick my fist into the mud and not even stop past my elbow, and it's still
Really?
muck.
Just goes, oh,
Yeah, it's like a
dang,
false bottom. And then like people
false
like
one.
you
Is
try to
that what
find
quicksand is?
maybe something like that, but it's just like it's scary. Um, like I can, of course, I'm not going to sink into it. I can adjust my air, my BC to float more or whatever. But yeah, it's just, and then once you stir that stuff up, since it's so loose on the bottom, once you stir it up, it clouds up. You can't see anything anymore. So when you're doing searches for people's property, you got to be kind of move really slow. You got kind of got to get a good eye, and once you stir it up, either I'm using my metal detector after that, or I'm just feeling with my fingers for any kind of like solid objects, like a phone, or for an Apple Watch, or any kind of thing I'm looking for.
That's wild. So, what's the coolest thing that you got to do because of this? Like, you had to meet someone that you wanted to meet. You got to, like, what's the coolest thing?
I definitely think like getting Charlie Barons out with me twice, and him wanting to do it again, get out and do some more. That's been cool. Trying to get Ryan Rubel to get out and to get scuba certified. And these guys have been doing social media longer than me. I think Ryan's
Yeah,
been doing it twice as long. Charlie's been doing it twice as long as that. So it's just like It's just cool, like getting to know these guys, and they want to spend time with me and go do this stuff outdoors. Nicolay Law, Russell, he loves the outdoors, and we had a lot of long talks about, he's thankful for what I'm doing to clean up because he loves the water, loves to enjoy it with his kids. So he like totally supports what I do. But then, meeting Christy through the whole Barbie thing, that's been
yeah,
fantastic. You find guns, you find Apple Watches, phones, you find like thousands and thousands of lures, antique lures,
yeah,
and just other random things like, found this elephant today. I mean, along with the Yoda. I find a lot of vapes, and he's got batteries in them, so it's nice to get these out of the water. Found some another pair of shades, and I probably found about 1,000 shades so far.
dude.
And
Those are
you get
you.
you get a
Those are
Ray
yours. You
Ban.
ain't find those. Those are yours.
No, I just found them. There's gunk on them everywhere. But no,
But
it's just cool. You never know what you'll find.
what's the oldest thing that you've ever found? You ever find like some like antique, like you mentioned antique lures, but you
Yeah.
ever find like some really cool stuff?
I find a lot of buttons, clay pipes from like the late 1800s, old bottles from the 1800s. I haven't found any like Indian spears, like 4,000 years old. Like copper. In O'Connell, they got
Yeah,
copper culture and stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there, but I don't really go out there and try to find that stuff. I do dive out there for bottles and lures and trash. And right in O'Connell by the old white barn by the highway where they do wedding events, there's cow jaw bones everywhere in there. It's crazy.
really.
Yeah,
Oh, that's wild. Yeah,
I'll bring it up.
I think that's cool. Like the old stuff, like because you figure like you find something from like 1800s, it's been there for like ever, like that. That's why
Yeah,
I think it's so cool. Like just finding something that's been in this spot just for so
for
long.
140
Um,
years. Yeah,
yeah, it's over there chilling. But you're doing great work over here. You know what I mean? You're making the earth a better place. So I'm saying there's some content that makes the earth better, some content that's just filling up space. We're not the
yeah,
same.
yeah,
We're just filling
yeah.
up space over here. But big shout out to you. Everyone, be sure to check out Ed the Diver, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere you can find them. Check out that Press Gazette piece that they did on him. No one's ever interviewed me for a newspaper. I did a
What?
radio show one time. It was college radio,
Oh man,
but it still counts. It still
man,
counts. Tell Chris to give me a WIXX.
get you in WXX.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll have to do something special first. But big
yeah.
shout out to Christy, big shout out to you, Ryan, who's in the comments. And hey, actually, before we cut out of this thing, they're doing a mural.
Yep.
And I'm gonna be on it. You're gonna be on it. Ryan's gonna be
Yeah.
on it. Talk about that. Look, dude, I almost
So,
forgot over here. Talk
so
about this
since
mural.
So I have such an awesome girlfriend, and she cares about me, about Matt, about Ryan, and about Wisconsin. She actually got in contact with somebody in Green Bay by Lambeau Field, and we actually got a mural. I think it's about 59 feet of fence going up with all our mugs on this fence across from Fox 11 News and across from the Rest Center. So that's pretty dang cool. It's not directly across from the Packers Stadium, but it's just a little further down across from the Rest Center, Fox 11 News. So you know that when they're doing their like live cam up there, they're gonna be
Dude,
looking at it at some point.
they're gonna be looking at this mug. This mug should, first of all, should not be on a
But
mural.
no, I'm
My
so
face.
proud of her doing
I'm
that.
not even happy about this close zoom I got going on here. I feel like I'm
Oh.
too close. But I think it's cool though.
Yeah, and Spencer will be painting that. He's starting on it really soon here, and I think they call it the Shadow House, the house on Shadow. But we gotta mention that the house there so people can rent it out to go there and during the draft or during the games and
Yeah.
And rent it out.
I'll be down there. I'll be down there this week. We'll be talking about it. I'll definitely throw them some shouts and yeah. So they got what do they call those? A B&E? No.
Yes.
I
So,
forget. I forget what it's called. But you can rent them out.
Yeah, you can rent it out, and then like some of those places are huge. Like the ones they rebuilt, they're like 3-4 stories, and they're like
Dude,
mansions almost. Wow.
Yeah, those houses are awesome. Those houses are definitely awesome. But anyways, we're gonna wrap this thing up. But yeah, I will be doing some content. Maybe I'll see you down there. I think Ryan was talking about coming down next week, talking about the mural.
Yep.
Mural. That's a hard word to say.
Mural.
It really is.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go down there because I never seen myself on a mural before, and
It'll be awesome.
And a really good group. You know what I mean? But I appreciate everyone tuning in, listening on the podcast. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, all the places. The Matt Remich Show. Big thanks to Quick Trip sponsoring the show, and also another big sponsor, Nicolay Law, always representing Russell Nicolay. Dude, they're doing some big stuff. If there is a Wisconsin like picnic or Summerfest or some type of music happening, Russell's like, I'm gonna need my face on that thing.
Yep.
But big shout out to Russell Nicolay. They're killing it over there. If you ever get injured in an accident, don't call Saul, call Nicolay Law.
Got it going.
Peace out, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.